They think they've cornered you. They're wrong. What looks like surrender is actually the first move in a game they don't even know they're playing. INFJs don't get mad. They get strategic, turning patience and foresight into their sharpest weapons. You've felt it before. People mistake your quietness for weakness, your silence for passivity. But that's the miscalculation that changes everything. What others can't see is that while they speak louder, you're already shaping the outcome in your mind. Because the real power of the INFJ begins long before conflict breaks the surface. Wait until you see how number 3 flips the script entirely. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you are looking to achieve a deeper understanding of yourself and your personality type, click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. Number 1, the silent intelligence gathering phase. The silent intelligence gathering phase begins long before anyone notices. While others get lost in noise and chatter, you're watching what slips between the cracks. A pause too long before a laugh. Fingers tighten around a cup when a story doesn't add up. You're not prying, it's quiet detective work, the kind most people overlook. Your focus is on contradictions. When someone sounds confident but can't hold eye contact, when their bright tone doesn't match the tension in their shoulders, you record it. It isn't guesswork. You see the subtle shifts most never register, the micro expressions and inconsistencies that expose more truth than their words ever will. And you don't react. That's the power. While others blurt out questions or call someone out on the spot, you file each detail away, piece by piece, as if building a hidden map. At work, that casual rumor about who might get promoted, you remember who started it, who repeated it, and who stayed quiet. Later, when the rumor twists into conflict, you already know who had the most to gain. To others, your stillness looks like withdrawal. In reality, you're positioning yourself. You wait because timing is everything. Number 2, the patience game. Most people mistake patience for passivity. The INFJ reframes it as a weapon, the patience game. While others rush to defend themselves, you let time reveal what hasty words can't. That colleague who undermines you with half-truths, you don't pounce. You wait, and sooner than later, their contradictions expose them more clearly than you ever could. INFJs habitually favor the long game. Silence is a strategic pause, not a surrender. An outburst hands control to the manipulator. Waiting quietly shifts the balance back in your favor. If this rings true to you, quietly subscribe. We explore tactics like this every week. What makes this approach powerful is precision. You measure your response not by speed, but by accuracy. While others grow restless, mistaking your restraint for defeat, you track their missteps. A careless remark, a second slip, a pattern forms. And when the silence finally breaks, you have more than an argument. You have a record that dismantles their credibility in one move. This isn't just about holding back words, it's leverage. Every delayed reaction multiplies pressure on the other side until they reveal themselves. And when that moment arrives, you don't just counter, you expose. But patience alone isn't enough. To truly win, you need to understand the person behind the mask, their motives, their patterns, their tells. That's where the real work begins. Number 3, psychological profiling. Psychological profiling begins the very moment someone opens their mouth. For you, it's not a vague hunch. It's a cultivated skill built from years of observing human behavior. You marry emotional insight with pattern recognition, tracking how tone, body language, and timing overlap and clash. A clenched jaw that undermines kind words. Laughter that lingers just a beat too long. These aren't guesses. They're signals, stitched together into a picture most people never think to see. The difference lies in how you treat every interaction. You assume there's always subtext. That coworker who delivers constructive criticism a little too often. They may be disguising insecurity. The friend who suddenly turns unusually supportive, they likely need something in return. Where others take words at face value, you treat each exchange as data to be cross-checked and archived. What sets this apart from mere observation is synthesis. You connect fragments others dismiss as unrelated. A sigh during a meeting, a shift in routine, even a missing post online. Piece by piece, you draft a psychological blueprint that explains not just what someone does, but why. And once those profiles are clear, the next step is to let the patterns expose themselves without you ever lifting a hand. Number 4, the rope strategy. The rope strategy works because deception is fragile. Lies demand upkeep, and the more someone repeats them, the heavier they become. Instead of charging forward to defend themselves, the INFJ waits. Silence becomes the stage where the liar stumbles, each retelling stretching their story thinner until cracks begin to show. Because lies require upkeep, silence lets the liar become their own worst enemy. Take the workplace credit stealer. When called out directly, they bluff. But when left unchecked, they're forced to prove knowledge they don't possess. In the meeting room, their confidence unravels. Asked to elaborate on their work, they stammer, exposed not by confrontation, but by their own performance collapsing under pressure. This is not surrender. It's pressure through observation. Manipulators prepare for resistance, not for stillness. The absence of pushback unsettles them, breeding desperation and amplifying contradictions, which eventually drive them into mistakes no one else needs to force. At the right moment, one precise question can pierce through the entire facade. No accusations, no theatrics, just a calm tug on the rope they've been wrapping around themselves all along. And yet, this strategy becomes even sharper when others misread your silence as weakness, because being underestimated opens doors no forceful defense ever could. Number 5, strategic vulnerability. Strategic vulnerability begins with silence that feels harmless. People let their guard down around quiet, unreactive personalities, and INFJs use that to gather truth. What appears to be passivity is actually a deliberate choice to lower one's defenses in the room. The techniques are simple, almost invisible. A slight nod at gossip, even when you don't care. A polite smile while someone overshares. A feigned innocence about office politics, inviting colleagues to explain how things really work. Each tactic reveals motives and angles that no one intended to expose. This isn't weakness, and it isn't manipulation for its own sake. It's a shield. INFJs use these moments not to exploit, but to protect themselves and those they value. In a world where louder personalities often seize power, quiet strategy creates balance. A manipulative coworker boasts, believing they've found an easy mark. They brag, they drop names, they sketch out schemes. All the while, the INFJ listens, recording the truth without ever provoking suspicion. Then comes the shift. Those casual boasts and offhand confessions transform into something sharper, evidence with weight. What others dismissed as a quiet moment becomes the foundation of a case too strong to ignore. And that's where the next move begins. Number 6, the documentation method. The documentation method turns memory into something solid. INFJs externalize memory into records, timestamps, archived emails, screenshots, turning fleeting recollections into evidence that can stand on its own. Where others overlook details, you organize them. Save emails, note dates and times, capture screenshots in labeled folders, quote texts word for word, create a timeline that cannot be manipulated. Each piece is small, but together they create a structure that holds truth steady when stories start to shift. This isn't about clinging to grudges. It's strategic preparation, designed to counter distorted narratives and quiet gaslighting before they gain ground. A coworker claims credit for your project? Forward the draft with your name, dated months earlier. A friend insists you never said what you did? Scroll, quote, and reveal the line they wished you'd forgotten. The response isn't emotional, it's clinical. It doesn't argue, it demonstrates. And this discipline does more than expose dishonesty, it protects you. By moving conflict from memory to records, you sidestep the pull of reactive anger. Integrity becomes your anchor. You don't vent, you reference. You don't wrestle with emotions. You let the evidence carry the weight. But these records aren't meant to stay hidden forever. They're kept for one moment, when silence breaks and checkmate lands without warning. Number 7, the checkmate move. The checkmate move is the moment everything comes together. After weeks or even months of silence, an INFJ chooses one exact setting where deception can no longer escape. Maybe it's a meeting where a rival repeats the same lie too confidently, or an email chain where false claims are finally pinned down in writing. Then comes the reveal. Calm, direct, undeniable. Here's the original draft, dated before yours. Or, this message shows you already knew the truth. No raised voice, no theatrics. Just enough clarity to pull the ground from beneath the other person's feet. They wait until contradictions are undeniable, then reveal the evidence calmly and clearly. Timing is everything. By letting the manipulator overcommit to their story, the INFJ ensures the collapse is self-inflicted. A presentation suddenly falters when stolen ideas don't hold up under questioning. A group chat freezes when screenshots surface, proving exactly where the idea began. The room doesn't need an explanation. The truth stands visible on its own. The genius lies in restraint. There's no gloating, no twisting the knife. The evidence alone dismantles the illusion, and the manipulator is left exposed by their own overconfidence. INFJs transform what others mistake as weakness into strategy, turning patience, quiet observation, and careful documentation into their greatest advantage. Every silence, every note, every delayed move builds toward control disguised as restraint. Which of these tactics felt most like you? Was it the silent watching, the rope strategy, or the final checkmate? Share your story in the comments. Your patterns connect more INFJs than you might think. If this resonated, like and subscribe. It helps other quiet strategists find this channel. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.